This video is heavily influenced by Adder. You can see his information in the information below, as well as Evil Worst. You can also see his information below. I'll also include a couple people like Shadowfrax that to stay updated on. So, long story short is, let's get to the build. We're going to build a 3x3 that's roof stacked and also has a door push in it. It'll get you to at least a 34 rocket ray, up to 40s and 50s, depending on how you build it. However, we're just going to do the general one. So first things first, find a relatively flat spot. This is not perfect, but it'll do. I always face north when I start to build. You'll want to keep an eye on where you want your helicopter garage, that kind of stuff. But long story short is, make sure you start off either due north, due south, southeast, something like that. We're going to go right in the middle north. Get as flat as you can. And then build your 3x3. Now when you're doing the starter base, you start off by doing a 1x2. Two entrances. Which is pretty easy to start off with. Go ahead and throw your TC down. Throw a couple doors on. And at this point in the game, you should have enough stone to do the 1x2. From here, it might be good to do the calculation and figure out where you can put your external TCs. However, if you have time, go ahead and do the rest of the build. So you can fit a couple of furnaces right here, as well as a couple boxes. Be careful, of course, with more campers. But right now we're just on the general 3x3. Next, we're going to build the rest of the foot structure. So go ahead and build the triangular structure here, like so. Since this is going to be our TC room and back, we'll make sure that it's honeycombed. So with that honeycomb, we're going to build a similar triangular structure on the back. And then you put a triangle there and a triangle there. So from a bird's eye view, this is what your structure should look like right now. Next most important thing is that you place your roof. Door push, like so, and put it in your door base. And now you're going to walk around your entire structure. Walls. At this point, you're still relatively easy prey for anybody coming by, so make sure that your builder has at least one person protecting. Alright, so that's what we look like now. The door push is not enabled yet, not until we go to high qual here. But what we're going to do now is go ahead and put our triangular frame on. So I'm building this as though you're starting a fresh wipe and you don't have all the materials readily available like you do in a build server. So once you get your triangles on, go ahead and build your jump up in the back corner here. And then place your roof. Now at this point, you're probably going to upgrade all this to wood. However, if you have the stone, go ahead and do it in stone now. We're going to assume that you have the stone, that you're playing on a larger server, so we're just go ahead and upgrade all this. Bear with me for one moment while we get the upgrades done. do not miss a single piece of twig, otherwise it's pretty easy for someone to jump in and ruin your day. Okay, at this point, you still aren't going to want to place boxes. We will put an internal facing wall there as well. You can go ahead and put doors on, but again, this is not the door push enabled yet. You'll want the doors facing just like this. So, one door that pushes you through, one door that pushes you through. It's pretty critical that you put this door on, like so, with the lock facing exactly like that, and that'll help you get through as well. At this point, you may have the 13 high qual to upgrade this, so do that as soon as possible. And now the door push is enabled, so when you come in, no one can go deep on you unless they have the TC, because it actually requires that that door push you in and that this door push you out. Seems like a little annoying to get used to at first, but the safety that it involves is pretty nice. You probably want to put a shotgun trap right here eventually. We'll go ahead and do that. I don't want anything to be high qual. Looks like I'll have to destroy a few things because of that snafu I had there. So let's just get this fixed real quick. And see, if you go to put the roof in later, you can actually get it in, but you don't want to go through all that. Alright, so what we'll do now is we'll go ahead and upgrade this to stone. Get this back up to high qual. Get this one to stone. Okay, get our door back on. And the one thing that we're missing, of course, is the jump up. So at this point, you're going to be smelting a lot of metal just to get the doors on, as well as the code blocks. So from there, upgrade that to stone, and then we'll put a double door or garage door on here, whichever you have. Not assuming you have garage doors. Okay, so that's your jump up. This is what the base looks like now with level 1 done. What I would encourage you to do right now, if you're on a pretty sweaty server, is start the external build rather than the rest of the build up, because people can TC grief you at any point in time, and we're not going to want that to happen. That's bad days. So let's go ahead and start the external structure, the actual roof stack. So we're going to, your front door is here. We're going to go directly to the left. You should be facing pretty much due east. And we're going to begin the roof stack structure. Triangle, square, wall, and you do 7 triangles. Then you're going to go ahead and bust this up. Keep the triangle on the wall. And you're going to sit in here. And you're going to grab a half wall. And you're going to position this perfectly. Lower your DPI on your mouse if you can, or as Evil Worst says, put flippers on. So put this directly at the bottom of the wall over there, as well as in the middle. And if you did select to follow my instructions and build on due north, you can see right now we're facing due east. So what you want to do now is hold the control button forward, and as soon as that locks in, go ahead and build a triangle, build a square, bust these out. Don't be frustrated if you have to do this over and over to get used to it the first few times. But what you want is you want to be able to see 2 blue triangles on both sides. That's perfect. And again, that takes some getting used to. But if you use the due east, due north, you're good to go. The next thing you're going to want to ensure is that the roof stack goes up high enough. So if it doesn't go up high enough, you're not going to be able to build your triangle structures. So to test this, just grab a triangle here. And I'm not going to use no clip a lot because I want to assume that you're just following this as you're trying to get shot at too. So as long as you can do that right there, you're good to go. And the better you get at this, the closer you can get these two. But this is really good right now. So we're going to go ahead and continue with the external part of the build. Okay, so this roof stack, another way to check and see if you actually are connected is go inside and check your TC. You should now have some twig upkeep. So we'll do that real quick. We'll use the door push. And you see you got some twig upkeep in there now too. So, okay, we're good. Don't leave your doors open like I'm doing on the build server. But you're still protected through that door push. Okay, so now we're going to finish building here. So we go the connected triangle, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And we do 3 squares. And the triangle. You're essentially building a large triangle there. I'm doing something right now, okay? You want to show me?
Look.
Always take time for your kids. Very cool.
That's...
Fist bump, dude.
There was a Mason in...
Awesome.
There was a Mason in real life, and that's Mason in this game.
Okay.
There's a Mason in real life, and
That's pretty cool. Go play with your sisters and brothers, okay?
there's a Mason.
Thanks for showing me, buddy. Playing some Roblox. Okay. So next what we're going to do is, you have that large triangle. Go ahead and build 3 sets of 3 triangles. So 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, then 2 squares, and then if you did this really well, that'll also connect. Not huge if it doesn't. So you build the 2 squares, and then triangle, 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 and essentially we're replicating the other side of the base here. So again, as if this was your connected piece, you go 1, 2, 3 now. Then you do 1. And sometimes you'll have to adapt so you can climb it. I like building on the water. So typically this is going to want to be level if you build on a flat enough space. But I did not, so I'm going to have to do a little finagling, which is okay. But you do 1, 2, 3 squares. Then you build your triangle structure just like we did on the other side. Then you do 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, and 2 squares. And then I'm going to want to fix this over here immediately. So what I'll do, of course, is just do walls to get this to the same level. I'm going to place this on here. And it's like nothing ever happened. So everything's nice and level. Whether you choose to do 1 entrance or 2 entrances is up to you. I'm going to do 1 entrance here. 1 entrance makes you safer in the inside, but also allows for door campers. So one thing you might want to do is something that Adder suggests is put a fire here. Turn the fire on. If your comfort level goes above 50, you know that you're got a door camper. So make sure to do that. Good advice. I'm not going to cover all that. Watch Adder's video. Go ahead and build this structure. And I'm going to give you a quick overview of what it looks like from the sky right now. So we started off over here, connecting. We did 5 squares. Then we did 3. We did 5 triangles, 3 squares. We made that triangle, then we did 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 2 squares. Then we did 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 triangles, 3 squares, another big triangle, and then connected it all back together. So you'll have to get used to that exact structure and memorize it. You will memorize it after 5 or 10 times building it. Okay. Next, what we'll do is we'll go ahead and build our structure that will circle around here. And the reason that we're doing this you don't actually even have to finish this to start building external TCs. Start building those external TCs as soon as possible. Because again, you don't want to be TC griefed on the larger servers. You're attempting to do this. Better yet, if you trust the person to build it correctly, go ahead and have your teammates actually build it too. External TCs. Alright, so we got the base down for our structure here. Just gonna add our triangles in here. And I'll give you an overview of what it looks like one more time. Alright, so that's what the roof stack looks like currently. Okay, then you're going to want to start building your external TCs. Someone should be upgrading this to stone at the same time. Pretty straightforward on how to build external TCs, not going to go through all that, but essentially you want to go 7 out, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, excuse me, 7. I choose to disconnect, put a triangle in. It makes it harder if they take your main TC to reattach your external, but you're going to go ahead and put an external here. Then do the same thing on the other side. Do 1, 2, and see how I'm pointing directly. 3, 7. I actually like a base that's in the water on one side because I like to do a lot of diving. Play with people, know that about me. I'm the epic diver. Okay, then you go same thing on your north side. This one will be more tricky because we are in the water. Just going 7 out again though. And then we're disconnecting, putting in a triangle, putting the TC out. Okay, so now we got 3 out of the 4. And then getting the 4 down is very important. Getting the 8 down is even more important later, so while you're doing them, just get them all done. The reason I bring this up is if you've ever been TC griefed, you know how important it is to get TCs out. So right now you're fairly protected. Someone can still TC grief you out in this area, however, so now we're going to want to put 4 more TCs at the northwest, southwest positions, etc., etc. So go ahead and just grab your building plan. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 out. Turn TC down. Go to your northeast position. Then go 7 out. Be nice to your builder. Keep building them wood and stone. This is what they're trying to do, is protect you from being griefed. We'll get back to the build here shortly. Okay, now we need to go southeast. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay. So as you can see, we're just creating a nice little star of 8 around us. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Our 8th one will go here towards the southwest. Well, this will be a very nice compound for you. Okay. Go ahead and place your TC. You're going to want to place external TCs as well, just to show you. So once you get done doing that, you can kind of figure out where you can and cannot build. But long story short is have your teammates help build these external TCs. But what I would advise is just very simple TCs. If they need doors, you know, go ahead and place a door on them. But what I recommend, and this is kind of an IQ 400 tip here, is once you get your TC placed, grab some root combiners, which I believe those are the cheapest ones to make as far as 75 electrical or 75 metal frags. And if you don't want people jumping in on you all the time, put root combiners right here, and they can't build twig up on them. Okay. All right. That was actually a tip given to me by a former player. His name was Weeb, so give him credit for that. All right. So now we have 8 TCs out. Starting to build external TCs. The main builder can get back to work here. So first thing you're going to want to do is get everything eventually stone, but let's just keep building the structure here. So the only place that the structure is a little different is right there on the front, and then a little bit on the back. So we have a few different options here, but basically we're just going to build another structure straight up. By all means, adapt this to your own style, but this is how I'm going to build it. Okay, so you got your main door, which has your door push protection. You got this door. At this point in time, you should be able to start stoning up just about all of this. If not, tell your teammates to grind harder. Get this all to stone. Stone. You don't have to do every single one, but I just choose to. I'm not going to do a tutorial right now on how I build my external TCs. However, what I would say is you should make at least 4 of them TCs that you could fight from and store other loot in. That's all I'll say about that. There's plenty of TC designs, but having an 8 rocket grade external TC is great. Can you guys lower your voices, please? Thank you. Okay, so go ahead and get that done. Alright, we need to get this video done in less than an hour. Kind of taking my lunch break right now, so. Alright, get that done. Okay. Looks like got just about everything upgraded here. Okay. There's some doors on. I did put that door on incorrectly. Tell me you haven't done that before. Haha. Okay. Go Go ahead and place that door on. Okay, now you're pretty well protected. People can still jump in if they boost. We're going to go ahead and go back to the main build now, and then we'll finish building the structure. The reason that I went to the external TC is so you don't get TC griefed. But now what you could do, you can choose when to do this. You can do it before the external TCs, just know that you can be griefed. But we're on second floor right now. We'll go ahead and build our second floor all the way around. Okay, and we're going to build our jump up in the opposite corner to the next level. We're going to put our walls in. Okay, if you can afford it right now, make this internal base all metal, but if you can't, just keep going with wood or stone. It's kind of a waste of stone, but if you have stone around you, it is what it is. So at this point in time, it's actually beneficial to have the external built up a little bit, so you can actually go in here and complete the structure to start the roof stack. However, what I will say is just be careful. It's nice to have a ladder, but you can always adapt and overcome like I'm doing here. So what I usually do is tell people to put up with it. I'll build a little jump up here, and again I want to build this as though you don't have no clip. So you put your structure in just like so. And what we're doing is we're making sure that we get stability transferred over. So you can see that we're at 13 here. We'll fix that in just a second. Okay. So you get good enough to where you can just walk on these without ladders. Especially this one right here, if you can afford it. And with all these, if you can afford it, don't make them the triangle frame. Make them actual triangles if you can. But we're going to act like we're building on a budget here. So. We got that structure in place. You're going to want to upgrade this all to stone, of course. So let's just walk around and get that done. Then it's done and over with. Once I get this upgraded, I'll give you a nice flyover look how it looks before we start closing it all off. If this is not a BP wipe, you may want to go ahead and upgrade this to metal and or high qual at this point in time, but at least a high qual would be, or at least metal would be great, but just do high qual there for now. Eventually, we're going to want to upgrade the rest of that honeycomb to high qual, but we'll get to that a little bit later, because I'm assuming that your partners are out grinding right now. So right now what we look like is this from the aerial view. So the advantage of doing this like this is we can actually start now, and your teammates are probably going to be complaining now about space. So while you're doing all this, they're probably going to be starting to put boxes down in here, etc. So you'll want to make sure that you actually have a few stoves down. So at some point in time, you're going to have to stop doing what you're doing. And when they get you the LG, you'll install stoves. I'm not going to go through every accessory in this base, but what I do like to do is put stoves in these corners, and then have 2 half walls. Get rid of the bottom one, put in a quarter wall, and that's how I like to operate my first 3 stoves. The next 3 can go over here. Okay, there you go. Now for the roof stack, you can see that we can already start roof stacking, which is pretty excellent. So we can do that on our sides. Before you get too far along with the roof stack though, you're going to want to place in a door frame here, and make sure and don't place it in like I just did. You want to make sure it attaches to the actual floor here. Okay, there. Then we're going to have 2 door frames here that must go in now before you do anything else. So if this is a fresh wipe, you might be able to get to this step, but it's going to be difficult, so you may have to keep building up versus doing the roof stack right now. If you have garage doors, throw those in. If not, just go with double doors for your first wipe. It is what it is. But I'm going to assume that at some point your teammates have picked up a couple garage doors. So put the garage doors in first. Then what I do, you can go with garage doors on these sides, but if you want max bump protection, you're going to end up going with the window frames that I just showed there. Now, we can place our roof on. But what I've chosen to do with my design, and again, this was a tip given me by a guy I used to play with named Weave, is I'll go ahead and put in these storage facilities. But then, what you want to do is, if you can, fit in these ramps, because if people try to blow in from the sides, they're going to have to spend a bunch of extra time picking through ramps to actually get to your loot. So, yes, it does mess with your storage a little bit, but you can still fit 2 large boxes on top, and then 4 small boxes on the bottom. So just mess with it until you get it. It will actually place. But you just gotta mess with it a little bit until you get everything fitting in there perfectly. There you go. And what you're going to want to do is make sure that these are all metal. So everything's going to be metal eventually. Right now we'll just assume that you have a bunch of stone. Can you guys go to William's room for a while, please? I'll let you know when I'm done. It should just be about 15 minutes. Okay. Thank you very much. Okay. So you got all that in. Now, the reason that I go with these is it provides maximum protection once you get the armor window plus erasure. So you're going to want to place your 2 large boxes in and then 4 small boxes. You can do it later, but it becomes a pain. And before you log off, make sure and seal everything up, of course. But that's how I do my 2nd story loot room. 3rd story is all about your teammates and bedrooms, as well as possible electrical equipment. So we're going to build that jump up. If you do have ladder hatch, you can come back over here and place not 1, but 2 ladder hatches. Upgrade up the stone. That way you can later on put in both these ladder hatches. So there's 1, and there's two. Just like so. And the best way to close these is if you come in here, look at the second ladder hatch, then the top one, you're good to go. Then we'll go ahead and build the rest of the roof stack here. This is where you're not going to be able to add doors after, so ideally you have garage doors in there. Okay. So back up to the second floor here. Third, rather. Let's get rid of these stoves. Okay, we're going to want to build your bedrooms. I've gone with a little bit different design than Adder, and he's okay with that. He likes to make stuff around, but he definitely inspired this build quite a bit, along with Evil Worst, like I said. Make sure when you place your walls, you place them like so. Little jump ups. Okay. We'll come back to this in just a little bit. But that's all about lockers and bedrooms for your teammates here, so this is all going to be just regular doors, garage doors. Okay. Go ahead and seal all that. I agree with Evil Worst in that you don't need to upgrade your door frames to metal. You can just leave them stone. Look at his videos on breathability on stone door frames versus metal ones. Okay, then when you get up here, ideally, you've thought about this before you built your base, but you really don't want to have an enemy like right there and then have a door open to them with your mini coming and going. But in this case, I'm good to go with my neighbors, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to jump up here to the mini garage. And then I build a full mini garage. I like to have 2 minis if possible when I'm playing on a large team. One dedicated to myself, one so your teammates can lose it. Yes, I said that. Alright, so we'll go ahead and put this all up to stone now. Alright, so there we are. We have our mini garage. This will be our second jump up as well. But what we can do from here is actually build out 2 jump downs. And again, I do realize that you may not be able to do this from the start with your ladder hatches, but just kind of showing you how the build progresses. Okay, so at any point in time you can start to begin the rest of your building here. But what we're going to do on the sides here is something that's available thanks to the roof stack. Go ahead and build your triangles out. But then what you can do here, which is great, is you can actually roof stack your triangles. That way if you're being online rated, you have nice peak downs. You'll notice here that you would actually fall down that peak down. So what's preferred to do is you actually grab a square, put it in there, and now you won't fall down, but you have some killer peak downs if you're ever being online rated that you can use. Same thing over here. Create some nice peak downs that you can use for online rating defense. I've never played with a group that's we've gone online rated, but we've always been able to defend before it gets to this point in time. It is nice to have these, especially if you're a very large group. Sometimes you want to throw something at rest. Alright, so we'll get this placed. Kind of cheated there with no clipping. Alright, so now you got your peak downs done. Go ahead and upgrade those all. Okay, good to go there. Now you're going to want to... The adder has a shooting floor on this level, which is still doable. What I end up doing is I still have my shooting floor. And you could adjust this as you see fit, but this is the way I design it. The way I build it for my house. I put my shooting floor still on the same floor that adder had his. You can adjust this as you see fit, but the minimum windows here seems pretty effective. We also want these windows later for turret defense, which I'll cover some other time. But it might be good just to build this up as a triangle, even though I was able to get the roof stack to be even tighter. So build that up. That could have also been a pretty killer, just so an idea here. It will open you up to someone possibly coming up this way as well. What you could do is you could actually put a pretty killer drop down there. So let's put that in. Alright, so just make sure that you have your triangular ladder hatches in place, so let's grab those. That's 2C4 to get up here, at least then, plus the door. You don't have to, but it was just kind of nice to be able to build that in just now. So. Okay, and your teammates will like the ability to be able to go from their bedroom straight down. The reason that I stopped building the bedrooms on the 3rd floor, by the way, is everybody kept raiding through those every single time. They jump in the roof, go through one layer of roof, and then straight into the doors. So that's why I ended up doing what I'm doing. Okay, so now you can add the roof to your shooting floor. Just gonna put these squares in. Okay. Go ahead and put the triangles in. You put your squares in. You can actually put another square in. You don't have to do it this way, but this is how I'm choosing to build it. So. You may want to put a bed or something on the shooting floor for quick access in case you're going to get with someone. You could usually get out there in quick enough time though, and you'll get used to these, and it provides very good protection. So now you have a nice mini garage. You need to build up the roof stack to the mini garage, however. Put that in. Don't forget that you first need to put in these doors, which I already had in. Okay. Alright. Same thing here. You're going to put in not one, but two ladder hatches. Then I want to make sure put a turret and or if you're early game still, put down 4 shotgun traps down there on your jump downs. Especially if you can afford it. That'll knock a full metal, no problem, all day, every day, so you're good. You know, figure this out, put a turret in, all that kind of stuff. Alright. So make sure you're pretty well protected. Alright, so then down on the bottom floor, what we're going to do is, at this point in time, you should have enough high qual, ideally, to upgrade your PC room. Get your teammates to help you out, but it's time to pick out your stone doorways. Okay. And you're going to put in, make sure you have bags in there, of course. Then you're going to put in your wall here. You're going to upgrade this. This will be a pass-through room. You're going to have walls and storage in there, as well as the pass-through boxes. So, same thing over here. You're going to build a honeycomb layer. Okay. And then what that ends up looking like, once you get the boxes here, so it's pretty important to get those researched. You'll have some pass-throughs going like so. You might want to label or take note of what direction you're facing, otherwise it gets pretty confusing. You'll probably be using some of these for storage, like right up here for the beds and stuff. Then go ahead and build out the rest of your honeycomb and back here. You're going to upgrade all to at least stone, if not metal. The whole inside base should all be metal. Okay. So your footprint kind of looks like this. To finish off the first floor, what I always do is I actually build a wall there, and you can't put a door frame or anything because the roof is there. So what I end up doing is I put a kind of jump up, and what I'll do typically is leave that a jump up with no door frame. And I'll put the door frame over here. The reason being is I have some nice surprises always for people who think they're gonna try to go deep. And then same thing here. You put your level 2 workbench here. Level 3 workbench goes up here. I'm not gonna outfit everything, but I think you get the general idea. I'm not going to tell you where to put everything now. But that's how you do a 3x3 roof stack base. And then to finish off the top floor, you of course put your roof pieces on. This is a lot easier with the roof left than the with it, but just to show that it's possible to put all these in there, put those in. Okay. And you'll upgrade all those. You still have room to land the mini and get it in the doors, which is great. And then these will become your turret pods. So you'll put a turret here, and you'll use the chain link fence to protect them. You put another one, build it up out here. So I'll build up one side, and then I'll be done with the video pretty much. But you just build up here, put in your turret pod. Then the good thing is you can access all those from the inside. From now on, you don't have to go on the outside. Make sure you're off on all of them, of course, because you'll start to murder everybody. Put turrets everywhere. I usually have 10 to 20 turrets. Put turrets on the outside facing in. Again, make sure that you have at least 4 bases where you can spawn in and shoot people if they start boobing you. Upgrade all of this internal base to metal. Not going to do it right now, but yeah, it's not going to get full raid capability until you do that, as well as making sure that you come back over here and upgrade your other honeycomb to TC in high qual as well. And if you really must, you know, add more honeycomb out here, but that'll give you very good protection. It's very rarely ever even tried to top down raid. It's really hard. If they choose the right side, they might side raid you, but other than that, make sure you have good online, you know, people that are online defense, and then build your perimeter how you wish. All right. Hopefully that helps some of y'all. Again, kudos to Adder and to Evil Worst. You guys are really good inspiration for builders. Shadowfrax always gives really good updates, so make sure to follow them. They're all in the information below, and I hope you'll have a lot of fun with the build. And let me know. I really want to hear feedback on it. Cheers.